Everybody, Marco here, and welcome to another pencil mark video. Today I'm going to be doing another hard Sudoku. I think I'm going to try to normalize my schedule around one hard Sudoku every Monday, one hard logic puzzle every Wednesday, a bunch of rapid fire quick logic solves of a certain genre, I'll just call them rapid fire solves, every Friday, and maybe I'll do something on the weekends. Maybe I'll try to look into streaming on YouTube a bit. But yeah, right now, I'm not really sure if all of this is going to work out, but I'll go ahead and give it a try, you know? So the Sudoku I've got for you today is called a sum set Sudoku. I think it was from the 2021 online Sudoku GP. It's by Wilbert Zwart for the Netherlands round. And I think the Sudoku's rules are pretty self-explanatory, actually. Well, we've got a bunch of different cockroach-style cages in the Sudoku, and all of these cages have to sum up to different numbers. In fact, I can show you. It's in these spots, here, 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 here. So there's 5 in the top rows, there's 4 in the middle rows, and then there's 6 around the bottom here. Actually, something you can sort of tell here is that there are 15 different cells, which I think spans all of the possible values for 2-cell cages, because the smallest possible value you can create is 3. That's the sum of 1 and 2, and the biggest possible value that you can create is 17. That's the sum of 8 and 9. So let's go ahead and give it a try here. Let's see if we can make this work. Right, to start things off, I'll probably go ahead and make myself a checklist real quick of the different possible sums that we have. I'll just go ahead and edit the canvas for that. And done. Okay, so this will probably help me keep track of the numbers a little bit. I'm thinking, first of all, let's just do a quick Sudoku scan, I guess. Let's just do some pencil marks for pairs that seem interesting. Here, we definitely have a 1 that goes into one of these 2 cages, which could be key. The same thing actually happens on the other side here too. That does actually mean we have a guaranteed 1 by Sudoku in this cell as well. And where are the ones on the bottom? There's 1 guaranteed here and 1 guaranteed here. Wow, I didn't think we'd be able to get something like this off the bat, but that does give us 6 different cages which are guaranteed to have a 1, which are all going to be on the lower end. So one of those is going to be the 1-2 cage, and one of those is guaranteed to be the 1-3 cage as well. So let's see which of the 1 cages can contain a 2 on the other side. It's none of these options in the middle. It's not the one at the bottom, it's not the one on the right. And it's not the one in the top left, so it's got to be the one in the middle. That's the 1-2. There's going to have to be a 1-3 as well. It can't be the top left, it can't be the center. I think we can still have it either in the bottom right or in the bottom center. Both of those still look like feasible options for the 3. We're just going to have to keep both of those in mind. Let's see if we can get anything else by Sudoku. There's the 2 now in the center that we can just straight up get. And you can also just get it at the top right. It's got 2 positions it can be in here and here. That's not a lot of options. In fact, let's look at the top right square. There is going to be a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 9 missing. 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, the 7's forced to go down here. It does not go with the 5, so it's either the 3 or the 9 to make a 10 or a 16. The 5 is pushed specifically into this cell over here. It can still be with a 3 or a 9. Right. Whoops, I had to sneeze. Okay, so 1, 2, we're missing a 3, an 8, and a 9. We're missing a 3, an 8, and a 9. The 3 cannot be in this cage on the left, actually. So we do have a 3. And that's going to just give us our 8, 9 pair over here. Let me just quickly mark these cages a bit better. Okay, I went ahead and crossed off some results for the cages that we already have. We know that an 8, 9 pair is guaranteed to be in this cage, so this is the 17. And actually, we do know that this means the leftover cells here are going to be a 7, 9 pair. So this is guaranteed to be the 16. So we can actually just go ahead and cross both of those out. The remaining options for this cell at the bottom, the remaining pair here, that's going to be 2. It's going to be 3 or 8. 3 or 8. Okay, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's check the regular Sudoku again. One thing that's going to possibly come up here in the bottom left is that the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are given, so the rest have to be made out of some combination of 5 to 9, but we cannot have 9, 8, and we cannot have 9, 7. So those cannot be in the same area, right? I think we can also make a deduction here that this is why we cannot have 9 in either of the bottom 2 cells, because then 7 can't be next to it, and it can't be in these 2 cells, so it has to be here. But then the same thing applies to the 8. They would both only be able to move into this cell up here. So we can just remember for ourselves that 9 is not in the bottom row. It's got to move up to the top. And if this is a 9, it only pairs up with a 5 or a 6. It is still possible for this to be a 5, 6 pair, though. That'll make it 11 in that case, and that'll push the 9 up over to the side. But there's only one place where the 5 can be, and only one place where the 6 could be here. Because there's a 5, 6 up above, that means we do not have 5, 6 down here, so this is actually only 7 or 8. That doesn't quite pair with the 7, 9 pair up above, but it is what it is. That can still pair with anything, besides 9, of course. What can go up here? 1, 2, 3. We are missing 4, and we are missing 7 in the top cell here. But first of all, it can't be a 7 because that would make it an 8 region. So this is going to be 1, 4. That's going to give us our 5 region. So we can mark that off. 1, 4, and then the remaining number here in this column is going to be 5, 6, 9. That's fine, that's fine. We're still missing a 3 in the second column. That's going to be in one of 2 positions. 4, 5, 6. We know... Oh, actually, this is interesting. Right. No, this isn't even interesting. It's just Sudoku. The 7 goes in this cell, and the 8 goes in this cell. It's paired with a 9 here. That means the 9 goes into the left side. Let me just clean up some pencil marks real quick. Right, and that also means we do get to resolve the 16 on the other side. What numbers does that give us in the middle? That's going to be a 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a 4, 9 pair in these 2 cells. And that is a 3, a 5, and an 8 remaining in the center here. That's penciled in. Yeah, that looks good to me. Now let's see what we can do at the bottom of the puzzle. There's still a lot of numbers that we have down here that we can probably fill in somehow. We still know that the 3 is going to be in one of those 2 spots. The 4 is not restricted. Though actually we do have the 4 pushed to the bottom right cage below here. Looking at the numbers that we have crossed out on the right, I don't think there's anything that's restricting the partner for the 4 in that cage. Yep. Let's see, 5. We do have a 5 on the right, but yeah, there's no particular restrictions on that. It's still possible for the 5 to go down here with the 7 to make a 12 cage, and that would mean this would turn into a 6-9 cage, which would be 15. That's fine. Or it can be a 5-9 cage, which turns into a 14 sum, and the 7 would have to pair up with something else. What other numbers are we missing in the bottom right? It's going to be 8 or 9 as possibilities too. Nothing of particular note there, I think. In the center, well, I guess we do have 7 reduced to 2 possibilities, and it's out of the cages. But other than that, there's not really numbers pinching both of the sides here. There's not really too much restricting the middle. We have the 2 and the 1, but we already used those to give us our 2-1 candidates. And yeah, as a matter of fact, we do have 7 placements for 2 and 1. So all of those options are out of the table, off the table. I guess I should pencil in 2 options for 7 in these 2 spots. And this also gives us 2 options for 7 in these 2 spots. All other 7s are accounted for. 9s are, there's not a lot of them. There's 3, I guess, but we can't really do anything with any of them. How are 3s looking? I think we only have 4 of them in like this diagonal pattern. We have 3 reduced to 2 positions here on the left side. It's got 3 different positions here on the right. Down here, I guess we have 2 positions. It's either in the right cage or at this top corner. In the middle, we have it either going with the 1. Actually, this is a good point. For the 3, it can only go in one of these 2 positions, right? Because these 2 3s restrict it, and it can't be here because that would mean we cannot have a 4 cage. So it's going to have to be on the left here, which means up top, we can put a 3 in this spot. And that'll make this just a 5-8 pair. I don't really know if that leads to a lot, but that is at least something. How are our 4s looking? We do still need a 5 cage somewhere. It's going to have to either be a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. Geez, are we really going to have to scan for... Well, it can't be a 2-3 pair because we already have placed 7 different 2s on the grid, and the 2 remaining ones are in these positions off of the cells, so it's got to be a 1-4 to make the 5. I guess for the 6 we can say something similar. It can't be a 2-4 pair, so it's got to be a 1-5 pair. Yeah, because that's the only 2 options to make... Wait, did I cross up? No, I'm sorry, I'm getting myself confused. We need a 1-3 pair for the 4. We already have a 5. And for the 6, we need a 1-5 pair. For the 7, we could still have a 3-4 pair or a 1-6. We just cannot have a 2 because there's no way another 2 gets put inside a cage. That's what I was getting at. Why do I have to make things so complicated for myself anyways? For the 1-3 pair, we did say the 3 was either going to be in this position or in this position down here. 5, I think we can either say is either in this position over here, or we make a 5-1 pair on one of the 2 sides at the top. I'm trying to think what the feasibility of 3-4 is, or 1-6. If it was a 1-6, we could definitely not use the top row here because of the 6 on the right side. We can't use the 6 here, so it would have to be either a 1... No. It would either have to be a 1-6 here because the 6 is blocking, actually. That is in fact the only option, because there's also a 6 in this spot, which covers these two places. Now how about 3-4? There's still a lot of options for 3-4. It can be in, well no, it can't be in the bottom here. And actually, because 3 and 4 are both pointing at this cell, this can't be 3 or 4 either. This 3 is looking at both of these. The only option for 3-4 would be in one of the two middle cells. 3 is blocked in both of these spots, so this would be the only option for 3-4. That is interesting, because though that is going to be either way the only place where we can put a 7 cage. Is that the deduction we're supposed to be making here? So we can place the 7 cage. So it can be either a 1-6 or it can be a 3-4, but either way this is guaranteed to be the 7 cage. Wow, alright. Yeah, we still had options for the 1-5 combo for the 6. Do we have to look at the 9 now? I don't want to. It's got too many options. Tell you what, let's check out the 15. That's either a 6-9 or that's an 8-7. There is a 6 and a 7 looking to both of the cells in the middle, and there is an 8 and a 9 looking to both cells, yeah, at the bottom middle. So both of those block out both 15 options, so it's got to be somewhere in the bottom 6 cages. We can still make 6 and 9 over here. That's one of our two options. This was either 15 or 14. 7-8 is still feasible for the bottom row. The 7 is blocked in this right bottom cage here, but I think we can still do 9-6 as a possibility. So this is still the other possibility for the 15 cage. It's in one of these 3 spots. I don't think we can say anything about the 14 cage in a similar manner. While the top does block both 8 and 9 in this particular row, I don't think there is a lot of things blocking here. We can still have 5-9 here. This can be 14, as mentioned before, we can have 5-9 there. Both of those are still fine here, but not in the right, because we have a guaranteed 1 in this cage and a guaranteed 4 in that cage. So note that. Am I sure I can't get anything with just regular Sudoku? I guess I'll mark down that the 4 has to be in the center here. We do have a triple in this column. Now that we have the column almost completed, it's going to be a 2, 3, and a 9 missing. So yeah, exactly 2 options for each cell. Yeah, then we can erase the 9 from this cell. That's only either going to be a 5 or, yeah, only either going to be a 5 or a 6. So our remaining options here are 5, 6. Well, I guess we can enter 5 like so, we can enter 6 like so, and 4 is in any of those spots, but those are all the candidates. Yeah, this is going to be 8, 5, 6. Still has options there. Gosh, this is way too many dots. 4 is unrestricted in the center. 5, yeah, 5 has three positions. I think that's a little bit too much to mark. For 6 at the very least, we have definitely only 2 possible places where that can go. 7 as well. It's only these 2 places. 8, like 5, has to be in the top half, or in the top 2 rows rather. What's the trick here? I'm quite stuck now. I guess our options for this one at the bottom, that's 12, 13, or 15. This is 14 or 15. Maybe we can check out which of the remaining cells can still be places where big numbers can go. Because this cell is paired with a 1, this cell is paired with a 1. That is already our 7. I don't know why I have a 4 marked in this spot. I think I was confused earlier because I was mixing up the 3 and the 4 here. But this is not a 4 because we have a 1-4. So we do only have 2 positions for the 4 in this row. Are there any other numbers that can go here? The 3 is a possibility. 5 to get 6 is a possibility. I guess it could still even be 8 or 9. Yeah, there's not a lot of restrictions there. I'm wondering if there's a pattern in the middle here, actually. I saw this small move look ahead since we have a pair here and a pair here. And also the ones are, I guess, an X-wing here. If we made a 1 here, we would end up in a 6 with a 6 in that spot, and this is a 1. No, it's the other way around. If this is a 4, then the 1 pattern has to be like so. This would have to be the 3, which would push the 6 and the 7 over here. But that is not possible because we already have an 8 over here. Right, that's the way the flip-flop goes. That was a bit of look ahead. Whoops. But anyways, that gives us our 1s, the positions for our 1s. Whoops, wrong layer. So let's remove those pencil marks. Right, we have our 7 filled out, and we have our last remaining 1. This one could go with, I guess it can't go with a 4 anymore. It's got to be a 5 or an 8. Those are the only 2 possibilities. That actually does give us a 5-8 pair. So 5 and 8 does not appear down here. We can erase these 2. This has got to be a 3 or a 9 with the 1. Nothing in particular we can say about that. Oh, there is, yeah, there is something particular. Now there's no 5 option here anymore. So our only remaining 5 option is up here. All right, I'm just cleaning stuff up a bit. All right, I cleaned my pencil marks up a bit. We do have the 4 as an option in the center. And the other number we have to mark is 8 in these 2 spots. What's that give us now? The 3 has to be with one of these 2 1s at the bottom still to give us our 4. And then the other one either turns into our 9 or our 10 cage. If this is a 4, then we have our 10 cage here. If this is a 7, we have either an 11 or a 15. Right. No, 11 or 13, right. We still have plenty of options there. What about in the top cage? 1, 2, 3, 4 is fine. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, that's still a lot of options. So this is either going to be 12. Well, no. Now this has got to be 4 on the left side. If it's 8, that makes it, never mind. If it's an 8, it could still be an 8-4. It's not a forced 8-9, but we can't have 8-9 because that's 17. So it's got to be 4-8, which turns into 12, or 4-9, which turns into 13. So this is a 12 or 13. This at the bottom here is a 12 or 13 or 15. This is a 15 or 16. We're so close to getting a bunch of those in that range. This here, it does sort of go into that range, but it also goes into the 10s. One more thing to think about. I guess if we restrict options for which cell or which cage can be the 9 or the 10, then maybe we'll know how the bottom cages with the 3 resolve. For example, 1, 2, 3, and 6 all point to this cage, so this can't be 10. Same thing here, there's a 1, 2, 7, 6 pointing to this cage, so that can't be 10. Yeah, our only options for 10 are these 2 cages specifically. For 9, we only have this cage, but we also have the possibility of a 5-4 pair in these cages, in this cage. This one is still very unrestricted. It's 1, 2, 3. So 4 is an option up here. 5 is an option in both spots. 6 can't be in either. 7 can't be in either. 8 and 9 can be in both. So yeah, still very, very unrestricted. You'd think this puzzle would fall a lot faster now. I guess we do have something that we can see with Sudoku. This is now a 5-6 pair, these 2 cells. That means this has to be a 4, which makes this a guaranteed 7. Yep, that gives us our 11 cage. So with the 5-6 being a pair, what's left in this row? It's got to be 3 which is in one of these spots. One of those two spots, actually, yeah. There's a 4, which can be over here or in those two spots. 5, 6 is the pair. 7 is only in this spot, right, by Sudoku. 4 still has 2 options. 8 can be in any spot. And 9, that couldn't be in any spot either. Or no, it can only be here, but it can be in here or on the left. Right, with that said, we do have our 11 crossed off. I don't think that helps a lot. I don't think we can make 11 in most places anyways. So that was kind of unhelpful. Though that does resolve the bottom row here. There's a 7, so that makes this where the 2, 3 is missing. This is a 2, this is a 3. That resolves the second column. We got a 9 here and a 2 up top. The options for this cell are 4, 9. So the 8 does have to be in the cage. And because the 8 has to be in the cage, we can't have it be an 8, 9. So this is the 12. So we got our 9 over here on the right. What does that give us down there? 1, 2, 3. That's 4 missing. What can the 4 go with? We are missing 3, 8, and... well, it can be neither of those, so it's the other one. We're missing 9. That makes this a 13. Still looking for a 3, 4, 8 in this middle cell. I mean, this, yeah, middle row. That's not quite resolvable yet. This is no longer a 7. Right, we now only have one 7 option by Sudoku. That should take care of all the 7s in the grid. 4 is blocked here, but 8 still isn't. Yeah, the 7 can no longer be with a 5 or a 6, so this has to be an 8 to make the 15 region, which means we have to make the 14 up top above it. 5, 9, 6 there. 6 is over here. 5 is over here. Okay, this is starting to look good. We still have, I guess, a 3, 8 pair. So wait, we had our 5... oh yeah. We had our 5, 8 pair here, so this is going to be the 3, this is going to be the 8, this is going to be the 4, this is going to be the 8. That means this is now a 3, 8 pair over here, so yeah, this is a 4. Our missing cages are 9, 10, and 4. So this cage over here is either a 9 or a 10, which means it has to include at least one 4 because 4 is the minimum there. So it's got to be, whoops. So it's got to be a 4 and then either a 5 or a 6, but 5 is the only possibility. That gives us 3 over here, 9 over here, and boom, we have all cages. This is going to be the 9, this is going to be the 10, and this is going to be the 4. There we go. All of those are crossed out, and we can just get the rest. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. Over here, we're missing 3 and 8, and up top, it's going to be 4 and 9. Done. Wow, okay, that was fairly tricky, and there were some obvious Sudoku scans that I missed early on, but I think the logic overall for this puzzle was fairly nice and came together pretty nicely here. And yeah, I am glad to have solved it. I do not do good with Sudoku variants that require a lot of addition, but this was like just the right amount of addition to still be tricky, but still be doable. Very lovely puzzle. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around next time.